Hello everyone, Catweazle here, welcome to the channel and welcome back to our play-by video of Arkham Horror, the doom that came to Arkham. And we're just about to start turn 6, but before we do, yes, we've got some errors to go through. So first of all, it was monster movement. I missed a circular monster, the crawling one. It should be in the church green streets along with that cultist, so I've now moved it to there. Secondly, when I was talking at the end of the turn, I mentioned we could possibly win this turn. We can't. What it was is I'm so used to playing with 4 investigators, I just had it in my head that we had 4 investigators and not 6. The only way you can win on there being no gates in Arkham is if you have the same amount of gate trophies as you have players. We have 6 players, so we need 6 gate trophies. Even if we shut both of these gates, we will only have 4 gate trophies, so we can't win this turn. So we're stuck with all these monsters, I'm afraid. So apologies for that one. As I say, I'm so used to playing with 4 investigators that I didn't realise. Okay, so what else? Oh yes, one that I noticed and nobody else did. There's nothing we could have done about it. It was just a case of we missed it, but we wouldn't have taken advantage of it anyway. If you remember Patrice Hathaway, before the Hound of Tinderloss turned up, she actually found an elder sign, and which was brilliant. But because she is a collector, along with Agnes Baker could have actually gone through the unique item deck as well, and she could have bought something, except for the fact she only has $2. So she wouldn't have been able to afford anything anyway, so she hasn't gone through the unique item deck. She's only got $2 and she's going to spend that in Arkham Asylum. So there we go. It does say you may draw, so she didn't have to draw yet. You may draw, and because she was saving that $2, she is going to use it in the asylum. So did miss that, should have mentioned it, and should have mentioned that we weren't going to do it. But we weren't going to do it, we haven't done it, so everything's honky-dory. Right, that's it for going through the various errors from last turn. So let's crack on with turn 6 and move on to the upkeep phase. Leaving the dark part of town, Patrice was on her way to the shop when she found herself downtown. Standing nearby was Agnes, the young waitress from the diner. Patrice had not seen her many times, but when she had stopped in for a meal, she had caught her eye occasionally. Now she couldn't help but notice the shotgun clutched in her hand. Patrice approached and greeted her, and they spoke for a time. Agnes had mentioned many things that Patrice had also experienced, and it appeared that they were both fighting the same thing. Agnes spoke of her plans, but said she was a little short on funds. Patrice was happy to lend the woman $2. After they bid each other goodbye with promises to reconnect and plan later, Patrice continued to the shop. She wondered if she should get a shotgun herself. Once inside the shop, Patrice started to glance at the items on the shelves. She found a sword similar to the one that Michael was carrying, as well as a strange old book. But what caught her eye the most was a pendant, with a symbol that she had seen before. Even she could feel its power. She quickly purchased it, and was preparing to leave when she noticed a large creature was flying outside. The sound it made as it flew seemed very familiar. Patrice knew she was in trouble, since the creature was right outside the store. "Excuse me," she spoke to the shopkeeper. "Do you have a back exit?" So here we are with Patrice at her upkeep. First thing she's going to do is she's going to put her sneak up, because we are going to try and sneak by. Well, that's not, we're going to try and hide is what we're going to do, because we're not going to move anywhere. If she moved, she'd go into Northside Streets. There's a Shoggoth there, so we want to avoid that as well. What we're going to do is try and avoid the actual hound in the shop, so it doesn't attack. If it does attack, then, well, we'll probably end up either in the Nuts house or down in, where is it, St Mary's Hospital. That's just the way it goes. But we will try and avoid it. If we can avoid it, then hopefully we will have a location encounter in the actual store. We're not going to have a text encounter because she's only got $2, unfortunately. We're not going to spend any clues either, because we want Daryl to use one of those clues, and we have a spare clue as well, because we cannot always, any investigator can use one of her clues. So, and Patrice, she starts fighting the Hound of Tinderloss. It's pretty much all over, man. We might use one clue on the evade, we'll see. But anyway, right, so that's it. That's her plans. No movement, and hopefully she'll be able to have an encounter at the Curiosity Shop. If she manages to dodge the Hound this turn, maybe one of our other investigators can actually get to the Curiosity Shop and kill that Hound. We shall have to see. Right, oh, so that is it for Patrice. She's our first player. Next up is Vincent Lee. Vincent Lee breathed heavily. Across the table, the terrible old man fussed over some tea. The old man had finished bandaging Vincent's hand. Quite expertly too, noted the doctor, and handed him a cup. "Drink this, boy," said the old man. "It'll put hairs on your chest." He had cackled in his reedy, high-pitched whine. "Now you're beginning to see. Well, blood's the price for those as come looking. It's just a scratch, and it'll heal soon enough. Truth be told, you'll see a lot worse afore we are through. The fabric of eternity is threadbare thin here in the port. I see you brought some books with you. Interesting. How about we stay here a spell and take a look at them? I think you may have something." So here we are with Vincent. Yes, he's met up with a terrible old man in Kingsport. What's he going to do in his upkeep? Well, he's not going to move any of his sliders. We're going to use all of his movement points to do the Kabbalah of Sabbath and Nameless Cult. So we may as well, because quite fortunately we did get the 607 Rift token back. So by having another encounter here, we can get rid of that token again. So we'll stay here. We'll use the opportunity to use his movement points to do both of those books. And that's pretty much it. So he's going to carry on trying to stop rifts opening in Kingsport. That's it for Vincent Lee. Next up is Michael McGlenn. "Bloody hell," Mike exclaimed to himself as he stepped out of the portal. Creatures of all shapes and sizes flooded from the island and made their way to the mainland streets of Arkham. Some lingered about the island, but they had not spotted him as he came out of the otherworldly gate. He ducked for cover to avoid being spotted. Turning back to the gate, he checked his weapons. Avoiding the monsters and closing this portal was his best bet. He hefted a stick of dynamite and contemplated using it, but he decided against tossing the explosives. He might need those for something that could hit back. Instead, he levelled the Tommy gun at the pylons that supported the portal. A few short bursts would take them out, but then the creatures would be aware of his presence. Oh well, no one lives forever. Well, hopefully Mike will. Hopefully we'll get a few more turns out of him. So what's he going to do during his upkeep? Well, he's going to move his fight up. And despite the artistic license used by Doug, unfortunately we cannot add the Tommy gun to it. It's just a straight fight check. So -1 for the being a bib. It's 4. So, but 4 dice. Hopefully we'll be able to close the gate. Unfortunately we won't be able to seal it because we do not have enough clues. But we'll close it. We will get rid of a hexagon monster. We'll get rid of the formless spawn, so that'll be good. And we get rid of the gate and get a gate trophy. And I think we will have enough then to actually do for a being of Ib if we choose, because Mike will have over 10 toughness of monster and gate trophies sort of combined. So that'll be cool. Right, is there anything else he's going to do? Well, he's just going to try and shut the gate, basically. He's going to come back from the abyss and try and shut that gate. So hopefully he'll be able to do that. He will get a gate trophy and we'll have 1 less gate in Arkham. Great stuff. Righto. Next up is Daryl Simmons. Daryl looked around. All he could see were the mountains that went on for as far as he could see. He had no idea where he was or how to get back to Innsmouth. Pathways were worn into the rock, crossing this way and that, but there were no signposts or any indication of where they went. Daryl felt tired and drained. He had no clue which path to follow. He decided to follow one that made its way downwards. It went on, but eventually it straightened out. It led to a doorway carved into a huge rock. Daryl pushed the door open. It was empty apart from a shimmering arch of light. He approached and could see the room with the altar that had broken within the archway. Well, my luck can't get any worse, he thought, as he raised his hand towards it. Once again he felt the magical force sucking him in. And here we are with Daryl. First things first, he gets $2 for his retainer. And talking of his retainer, yes, let's roll for it. So anything but a 1. We get a 5, that's great. He will keep his retainer next turn. And we can go forth with the rest of the upkeep. So is he going to change anything? Yes, he's going to update his fight and his will. He's going to put his fight up because what we want is to shut that gate. So again, he will have 5 fights, -1, he will have 4 dice. He's also got 4 clues, so he will be able to borrow one from Patrice and hopefully seal the gate. If he seals that gate, it's a slash gate and it will get rid of the Leng spider that is at the Esoteric Order of Dagon, so that will be good. So that's pretty much what he's doing this turn. He's going to try and close and seal the gate. That will give us 3 seals, so that'll be brilliant. We've got, I think Agnes has got a few clues, so she could seal the gate. And obviously we do have the Elder Sign, but unfortunately Patrice is sort of trapped in the shop with the Hound of Tindalos. But we do have the wherewithal to get 5 seals, so we'd only need 1 more. Bit of a race against time, but there are plenty of clues on the board. Let's see if we can do it. That is it for Daryl Simmons. Next up, it is Finn Edwards. Leaving the sanitarium after a short restful stay, Finn was ready to take a trip up to distant Innsmouth. He'd heard some of the other patients murmuring about the Esoteric Order and how they'd been up to something strange there. Turning to the direction of the train station, he made ready to leave and saw the biggest, most hideous creature he'd ever seen blocking his way. What the hell? Finn said to himself. He looked at the creature, looked at his derringer, and then he turned and started walking towards Hibbs Roadhouse. Thinking about the time he'd spent in the asylum, he shook his head, remembering something his daddy had always told him. I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy. Good advice from daddy there. Upkeep, what we're going to do, we're not going to move anything. We're going to keep them where they are. We've got a roll for his bank loan. So a 4 or better. He's doing really good on that bank loan. So he doesn't have to pay any of his bank loan back. That's really good. And he's going to move to Hibbs Roadhouse as mentioned. He's going to pick up that clue. He's hoping that the pathway up to Innsmouth will clear and then he can head that way. Until then, let's just pick some clues up. So that is it for Finn. Next up is Agnes Baker. Leaving the science building, Agnes suggested to Thomas that they head towards Finn's hangouts, hoping to track him down and see if he knew anything about what was happening in Arkham. Finn kept his ear to the ground and knew quite a lot about a variety of things, most of which he was probably not supposed to know. Thomas willingly went along. As he and Agnes walked through the quiet streets sharing what they each knew, they stumbled across 2 beings that stood out. A vampire and a clearly maniacal man. Agnes calmly opened both barrels of her shotgun on the maniac and then proceeded to dispatch the vampire using one of her spells. Thomas, a little taken aback by both the attack and Agnes's calm demeanour in the midst of it, remained silent the rest of the walk to Arkham Asylum. As well he might be. As well he might do. Right, upkeep. Well, we're not going to update anything, so that's fine. We're going to move to Arkham Asylum. We're going to spend that $2 that we got from Patrice, and we're going to get all her sanity back. Let's get her back up to 5 sanity, so that's pretty cool. Righto, so that is it for Agnes. That is it for the upkeep phase. Let's get on to the movement phase. And here we are with Patrice. Just before we go into Patrice's movement, we are going to give a sanity back to Vincent. He's going to use one of his focus to get a sanity. I think that's okay because we haven't actually started the movement phase yet. So that's what we're going to do. And he's back up to 5 sanity, which is great stuff. Right, next up, it's Patrice, and what's she going to do? Well, she's going to try and evade this guy. She's got 4 sneak, that's got -1, but it's another -1 because of the being a bib, which is -2. So all we've got is 2 dice. Come on, Patrice, you can do it. And she gets a 5, and she does do it. So that is absolutely fabulous. She's hidden in the shop, probably with the shopkeeper somewhere, while the Hound of Tinderloss is prowling about the shop. So well done, her. Let's get rid of that. And we'll put the Proto Shoggoth back in the Northside streets. And let's get down to Vincent Lee in Kingsport. And here we are with Vincent. Vincent isn't actually going to move, but he is going to use his 3 movement points because he's going to try and sort these books out, see if he cannot suss out what they are all about. He's going to do the Kabbalah of Saboth first. So that's exhaust and spend 2 movement points to make a law -2 check. Now his law is 4, so he's just going to get 2 dice. But let's use those 2 dice that we just used and see if he cannot manage to pass. He does, he gets a 6. So we discard this, I think. Yes, we get a skill and we discard it. So we'll discard that. We'll get the skill deck. Do a little shuffle. And a cut. And what does he get? He gets Marksman. Any phase, exhaust to re-roll a combat check. Okay, except he's not doing much combat, but better than nothing. So he's got that. Next, we're doing Nameless Cults. So what do we do with Nameless Cults? We spend his final movement point, make a law -1 check, and if we pass we gain a spell and lose a sanity. So we do get an extra die, because it's only -1, not -2. And he passes. So he loses that sanity that he got just before we started. Put that back, so he's back to 4 sanity, but he does get a spell. I think we discard it. Yes, we discard Nameless Cults. Let's dig out the spell deck. And a cut. What do we get? We get the Mists of Relay. Casting modifier, special, sanity cost 0. Any phase, cast an exhaust to pass an evade check. The casting modifier is equal to the monster's awareness. This could be very useful considering the amount of monsters we've got knocking about. We haven't got any in Kingsport as of yet, but that will be a good spell. If we could hand it off to somebody like Agnes, that would be very useful indeed. Okay, so that is the end of Vincent's movement phase. Next up, it is Michael McGlenn. And here is Mike. Straightforward for him. He's going from the Abyss and he's going back to the most visited isle, which is just chock full of monsters. So we'll put him up there. That is it for Mike. Next up is Daryl Simmons. Here's Daryl. Similarly, he's not going to stay in Unknown Kadath. He's going back to the Esoteric Order of Dagon, and that is his movement. After Daryl, it is Finn Edwards. And here we are with Finn. Finn is going to go 1, 2, 3, and he's going to take the clue at Hibbs Roadhouse. We'll put that on his player tray. He now has a clue, and that is it for Finn. And after Finn, it is Agnes. We may as well stay where we are because she's here at Downtown and she's just going to go into Arkham Asylum. So that is it for the movement phase. Next up is the Arkham Encounter phase. And here we are with Patrice. So we need the orange deck. She's having a normal encounter. Curiosity shop. Remember, she's got the lucky rabbit's foot. Jackpot. You find just what you've been looking for. Search either the common or unique item deck and purchase any one item of your choice at list price. Oh, we've only got $2. Now, from what I recall, I'll have a quick look through. I won't do it on camera because it'll take us a while. I'll have a look through, and but I think it'll be a common item for $2. I'll check if we've got anything for $2 at all. And I'm back. We do actually have a unique item at $2, and it is the King in Yellow. And we're going to take it because we can exhaust and spend 2 movement points to make a law -2 check. Remember, she's got really good law. If we pass, we get 4 clue tokens and lose 1 sanity. That is just brilliant. So let's get the King in Yellow. It costs us $2. So while she's hidden in the back room, hiding from the Hound of the Tinderloss, she finds the King in Yellow, and she's going to take that. So that would be really good. There was another one I was looking in the common item deck, and there is Old Journal. That would have only cost $1 and could have got us 3 clue tokens, but let's get 4. We have $2. Plus the fact it seems more thematic that we actually take the unique item, seeing as we're in the Curiosity shop. So that's great news. We have found a really good item there. That is it for Patrice. Let's get down to 607 Water Street. And here we are with Vincent. So it's the green deck. "607 Water Street. Through one of the windows you catch a quick glimpse of golden jewellery from some ancient seafaring culture. You're certain you've never seen it before, but it calls out to something hidden deep within you. Draw one Innsmouth luck card." Oh my god, no! We've got to draw an Innsmouth luck card. No! So here we go. Please, Vincent Lee, do not be one of the deep ones. Oh. Right. Dun, dun, dun. That night I dreamed. Great watery spaces opened out before me, and I seemed to wander through the titanic sunken porticos and labyrinths of weedy cyclopean walls and grotesque fishes as my companions. You do not have the Innsmouth luck. Nothing happens. Foo! We got away with it. Foo! Oh, that was looking bad as well. I thought we were going to get it. So let's put that back. Go for that. What I will remember to do at the correct time is to actually take this and put it back into the bag. So that's a rift token done with. Excellent. Next up, it is Michael McLean. Let's see if we can shut this gate. And here we are with mine. He's got his explored token, and he's going to try and shut the abyss. Now it's -2. He has got a fight of 5. So that is going to be 4, because obviously it's the being of Ib. So 4 -2. 2 dice. That's all he's got. 2 dice. Come on, Mike. A 5. You absolute star. So there we go. We have shut the abyss gate. We haven't sealed it, but what it does do is it does get rid of a formless spawn. So that goes. So that helps Daryl out. The formless spawn goes back in the bag. Michael gets that trophy. Get rid of that. That is really good. So there's still a shed load of monsters at the most visited isle, including a rather horrible Chthonian, but at least he's managed to shut it. We can get rid of the explored token as well. That's good. And all Mike's got to worry about is killing all these monsters next turn. Right, great stuff. Well done, Mike. we have shut another gate. Brilliant. We've only closed it, we haven't sealed it, but we have got rid of it. Brilliant. Next up, it is Daryl Simmons. And here we are with Daryl. He's got his explode token too. And as alluded to, we have already got rid of the formless spawn. That is no longer here. Now, we've got Unknown Kadath, which is a -1. May as well be a -2 because of the being of Ib. And what has Daryl got? He has got a fight of 5. So he is going to get 3 dice. Come on, Mike. Shut this gate. 2 6s. Not only has he shut the gate, it's a slash. We get rid of the Leng Spider. So that is going to help you out a real lot. And Unknown Kadath goes onto his player tray as a trophy. We can get rid of that. The explode token. And what's more, he is going to spend some clues. He's going to spend 4 of his own clues. But he is also going to borrow a clue from Patrice as per her special ability. So he gets 5 clues. And that means he gets to seal it. Let me get a blue seal of funkiness. Oh, and the sunshine is coming out here as well. Lovely. There's the seal. That is just brilliant. We've still got the ghost there, but who cares? We've got another seal. That is fantastic. Well done, Daryl. Well done, team. Okie dokie. That is it for Daryl Simmons. After Daryl Simmons, it is Finn Edwards. Here we are with Finn at Hibbs Roadhouse. So that's the grey deck. And which way round is it? It's that way round. Hibbs Roadhouse. You enter a friendly card game. What you doing, Finn? Make a luck -1 check. Oh, luck -2 check because of the being of Ib. Oh, what's your luck, Finn? It's 2. So that's an auto fail. We'll spend that 1 clue. You know, if it's -1 throughout Arkham for the being of Ib, that should be a -1 luck check for the other players as well. But we'll let that one ride. So we're going to have 1 dice. We did have a 6 that we rolled. Well, we rolled 2 6s, so I'll use one of these 6s. Come on. A 3. Not good enough. So that was all he could spend. I don't think he had anything else. Got Lucky Cigarette Case. But I'm not sure I can use it. Because... Oh no, it says... Yeah. Yeah, we'll use the Lucky Cigarette Case. Because it was a skill check, even though we used that clue. So yeah, we're going to have another roll. I'll roll the other 6. See if this one's magic. Come on. No, it isn't. I got a 1. So, unfortunately, we gave it a couple of rolls, but weren't able to do it. Lucky Cigarette Case gets discarded because it wasn't lucky. Oh, the unlucky cigarette case. What happened? He's probably lost some money. If you fail, you lose $3. But I think he can pay. Yeah, he can actually pay. He's got $6. So I think he's fine. I don't think he gets beaten up. Oh, actually, does he lose anything? Finn never has to discard items or lose money. So that's fine, he doesn't lose anything. And what's more, he wouldn't have had to spend the clue. So I'm giving him the clue back. I am giving him the clue back. He wouldn't have spent it. The lucky cigarette case he wouldn't have bothered with. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Yeah, he never loses money or anything, so he wouldn't have spent the clue and he wouldn't have used the lucky cigarette case. He'd have just like jammed his way out of it because he's Finn. So yeah, that's fine. Yeah, he didn't have to lose anything. He doesn't lose a stamina, anything like that. So he was just lucky that he's got a special ability that means even if he loses at cards, he doesn't have to pay anything. So yes, well done, Finn. Next up is Agnes Baker. Here we are with Agnes. Well, we don't need to roll anything for Agnes because she's going to do the text encounter. She's going to pay $2 and she's going to go right back up to 5 sanity. Well done. That is it for Agnes. And that is it for the Arkham encounter phase. There is nobody in another world. So, we're straight into the laugh and chuckle phase. And here we are at the laugh and chuckle phase. So let's get a laugh and chuckle card. One of the good things about actually shutting both of those gates means we cannot have a monster surge because we've got no gates open. So we will get a new gate. So, oh, another environment card. So this will take the place of alien technology. So we've got another one of these double cards. Your Hat and Flay, which is bloody Innsmouth. I would have preferred one at the Silver Twilight Lodge, but we can't have one at the Silver Twilight Lodge. Oh, something funny's going on here. I don't like the look of that. Right, your Hat and Fly gets a gate. So, and it's really difficult to get to. So there it is. And we use my I'm using the top of, like, you know, an aerosol can because I'm sick of these going all over the place. So what I'll do, we'll pick it off. This tiny bit of blue tack. Don't use blue tack. I only use it for, like, you know, filming purposes, but you could, like, damage the thing. But I thought it was quite funky. Oh, where are we going? Is that the Abyss again? Yuggoth we're going to. So let me sort that out. Very carefully peel that off there. So we're going to Yuggoth. If we've got to shut that particular gate. So we've put that there. The clue disappears. It sounds like it don't come back. That's it. 2 monsters. We get 2 monsters. The reason why I wanted this to come to Arkham was we were at the monster limit, so these had gone straight into the outskirts, but as it stands, these are actually going on the board. So our first monster is another horror, a deep one. Oh, actually, they're not too bad. The second one is a deep one in Innsmouth. That's what we like. And is this another rat thing? Ah, I hate rat things. You always have to lose an item. Right, we've seen the rat thing before, so I'll just put that straight on there. Keep pulling the same monsters out. Rat things and proto-shoggoths. So there's a rat thing. And let's have a quick look at the deep one. So it's pretty easy to sneak past. And yet I saw them in a limitless stream, flopping, hopping, croaking, bleating, surging inhumanely through the spectral moonlight in a grotesque, malignant, saraband and fantastic nightmare. Blimey. Right. So, -2, which will be -3, because we've still got the being of Abe. We lose 2 sanity. Again. 2 toughness, and it's -1 on the combat check, and losing 2 stamina if you fail the combat check. Let's put the deep one at its thematic location of your Hat and Fly. It must be guarding the cave. Let's have a look at this. At least we don't get a rift. We don't get a rift because we haven't got this. We don't get a clue either. There's no monster movement, so that is a bit of a pain. We could have done with... Oh, actually, I've got to put... I moved these out of the way for the dice tower. Put them back where they should be. We could have done with that proto-shoggoth moving, but that's not too bad. That's not too bad. So, tourists flock to Arkham. Why on earth would you flock to Arkham? It's going to hell, man. Environment urban. While this card is in play, investigators in a street area receive -1 on all combat checks. Brilliant. Just when we need to kill stuff in, like, street areas. And gain +1 sanity each time they pass a combat check. So it's not too bad. We might still be able to kill that proto-Shoggoth. So we'll have to see. But it's certainly better than alien technology. So let's get rid of that. We can discard it. There we go. Let's set this up. So the only bad thing about that is the gate, which, you know, it's set up in Innsmouth. We could do without it being in Innsmouth. We could have done with it setting up in Arkham, really, but never mind. Righto, so we have got a gate. We need to shut it. We've got 3 seals. We shut 2 gates. We closed one. We sealed another. Brilliant stuff. So we've done really well. We've still got a problem with monsters. Michael McGlenn has got a massive problem. He's got a Chthonian, a Yithian, and a skeleton. Skeleton not so much, but the other 2 are horrendous. We've got... who else has got a problem? Patrice with that Hound of Tindalos. She managed to evade it for 1 turn. She may have to do the same again because we didn't get monster movement. That Shoggoth didn't move. So it's going to be really difficult for anybody to help her in the Curiosity Shop. It may be that she's just going to have to go nuts or end up in St Mary's Hospital, and there's no way around it. While she's evading it, I mean, she'll try and evade it again next turn, I would imagine. If she doesn't move again, she's got all the movement points, and she could use the King in Yellow. She uses the King in Yellow, gets 4 clue tokens. Because of her special ability, anybody can use those 4 clue tokens. So that's great. So it doesn't matter that she can't move. Yeah? So that was a good move getting the King in Yellow, I think. And she can use the King in Yellow before she actually evades. It's up to us what order we do it in. So we'll use the King in Yellow and then we'll try and evade. Hopefully she will evade. But if she doesn't, she doesn't. And she ends up in either the Asylum or St Mary's Hospital. Cool. Things are a lot brighter for Daryl. He managed to get rid of 2 of the monsters there. Well, he managed to get rid of 1 by closing a gate, and Michael managed to get rid of 1 by closing a gate. So he's only got a ghost. Yeah? Either he fights it, or, again, well, he'll probably fight it, won't he? Because otherwise he's got to evade all those monsters in Church Green, which are a bit of a pain. We could do with getting somebody up to Your Hat and Fly, because we need to close that gate. Get somebody up there with an Elder Sign would be absolutely brilliant. It's tricky to get to, but let's get it shut. The other problem with it is those 2 monsters, they could easily move into a vortex and we could end up with the Deep One track rising very quickly. Which brings me around to monster trophies and gate trophies. I think both Daryl and Mike have got enough to get rid of a Being of Ib. I suggest we get rid of Beings of Ib for the very reason of the amount of monsters we have got in Innsmouth. I have a feeling the Deep One track is going to go off at some point, and that means the Ancient One comes out. I think we can beat the Ancient One. I do think we can beat it if we get rid of all the Beings of Ib. We've got a chance of getting rid of 2 of them at least. It's a bit of a race against time. Can we get the seals? We might be able to get the seals, in which case, you know, do we like get blessings and stuff like that. But I think we should at least get rid of the physical immunity and the magical immunity Beings of Ib. But I'm sure as a team we will have a chat about that on tube tables. But all in all, that was a fabulous turn. We've done really well. I think I'm going to be really cheeky and put a horrible, horrible, horrible title on this video just to scare everybody. I'm so evil. Right, so that is it for turn 6. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the views, thanks for all the subscriptions, and thanks for all the help and support. It is much appreciated. Thanks to everybody who's gone to Board Game Links to upvote the site, and to everybody on BGG who has watched the videos, commented, or even liked them. So that is so kind of you. Thank you very much. As usual, if you've spotted any errors, there might be a couple of errors. It is getting, you know, it is getting to the stage now where it's quite difficult to sort of keep everything in mind. I may have cocked up. If I have, please let me know. and I will do my best to fix it. Other than that, I hope to see you for turn 7. But until then, this is me, Catweazle, signing off. Toodaloo.